to go over the quiz. Make sure you are fixing anything that you made a mistake on so you don't make the same mistake on the test. Video? That's today? Yes. What's this today? Test is today. So for number 1A, select all the polynomials that are in standard form. Remember that there are two definitions of polynomials. One is the umbrella term that hosts all of the words, and the other one is the specific. So when it says this, it's talking about just all of them, not specifically terms that are four or more. So the ones that are in standard form are the first one and the last one. So the first, there's only one variable. It's in highest exponent to lowest exponent. It should be ABC order first, and then highest exponent second. So this is ABC order, highest exponent, deal with all the x's, and then start with your y's. So then the two that were not in standard form, to fix them, this would be 8x to the fourth minus 5x squared y squared minus 7xy plus 3y to the fourth. ABC order first, and then highest exponent. Let me do the other one, then you can ask your question. And then for the other one, most of us got this one. 2c to the third plus 3c squared plus 5c plus 4. So this was, did you get the correct ones and didn't choose the incorrect ones to total for 4? Did you correctly fix the two that were not for a total of 6? Max, what's your question?
For the last one at the top, so even though it has a negative 3,
the negative has nothing to do with anything.
So
That's just a coefficient. It's just negative.
So since negative x squared y, it has an exponent of the x, it should go first. Or the 3
Because it has an x and it's the next in order, that would do that. Decreasing exponent order after ABC order. Other questions on that one?
And xy would come before y because it's got an x in it.
Right. XY would come before y because it still has an x in it. ABC order first, then highest exponent decreasing order.
Why is 3x y squared after x squared y?
This one after this, yeah. Because this has a higher exponent than this one. For the x's.
Oh.
Other questions on that one? Most of us got number 2. This was a cubic binomial. A quadratic, the next one was a quadratic trinomial. A quadratic binomial. Yes. And then the last one was a linear binomial. Questions on any of those? So those were, did you get them right or wrong? For the total of 8. Then there were a lot of issues, mainly with this first one, because of a lot of different things. So for the most part, we got this. You should have been multiplying the exponent, which would have been x to the third, y to the fourth. Multiplying this exponent as well. So again, x to the third, y to the fourth. Then after this is where a lot of things went wrong. We should have just been multiplying this to this entire term, not distributing, because distributing is for adding and subtracting, and we're not doing that. So we should have just multiplied 5 to the entire term, and then added the two terms together, because they have like exponents, or common exponents, they're like terms. So this would have been 6x to the third, y to the fourth. The exponents don't change. What questions do we have on that?
Why don't you distribute the 5 to the y?
This is not x to the third plus y. Okay. It's not this. We can't distribute something if we're not adding or subtracting. X cubed and y to the fourth are multiplying to each other, and I'm multiplying that entire thing. Just multiplying to the coefficient in front. That's it. Other questions there? So there were a lot of separating here, making them two separate things, putting in pluses, which we should not be doing, separating this, putting 6s for both, again, a lot of things we should not be doing. But the 3 points were, did you get these two terms, right? And this term, right? Most of us got 4, but there were some issues there too. So this was scientific notation because of the x's. Remember, it won't say, you just need to know whether it's scientific notation or not. You really have some choices. You could multiply, then divide, divide, and then divide again, either side. Multiplying and then dividing would be the easiest option. So actually multiply the numbers, 24, and then add the exponents, 10 to the 16th. However, 24 times 10 to the 16th is not in scientific notation. You have to change that. The decimal place, move it to the left, so we'd be adding 1 to the exponent. Then we should be dividing the numbers, 2.4 over 5. Got my calculator with that? Which was 0.48. And subtract the exponents. Again, this is not in actual scientific notation, so move it over to the left, to the right, sorry. And subtract the exponents. So your 4 points were, did you get the final number here, an exponent, and the final number and exponent at the end correctly? So we should not be putting these numbers in standard form. We should be leaving them in scientific notation.
You set the 24 here to the left one because that can't be between it's higher than 10.
Because it has to be between 1 and 10. Are there questions there? Okay. On to the back. I want to say it was this class. It could have been a different class. Some of us multiplied here, and you should have been subtracting. You could have distributed the negative and rewrote this. You also didn't need to distribute the negative if you could subtract in the parentheses, but then just subtract. 4x squared minus 2x squared is 2x squared. 2x plus x and 6 minus e. So 2x squared minus x minus 2 was that final answer. You got those 3. Those are your 3 points. Questions on that? And then we had some issues with this. So most of us knew that area was length times width. And we started to multiply these two together. But forgot that we are multiplying binomials together. So we have to multiply everything. So you could use your FOIL, your box method, the double distributive, whatever to get negative 18x squared plus 15xy plus 24xy minus 20y squared, and then combine like terms. To get negative 18x squared plus 39xy minus 20y squared. The points on that were, did you get these 4 terms correct? And the final answer. Next.
We added 15xy, why would it not be like 39x squared y?
We're not multiplying, adding, subtracting the exponents. We're only adding the coefficients. We're combining like terms. The exponents don't change. Other questions? Other general questions about anything that's going to be on the test?
With the area of the rectangle, I know it's just like sort of a safety thing, but it's got to be in standard form.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm gonna go over thing. Yes. For the first section, yes.
Why is negative 20y squared not in front of
ABC order first, then highest exponent.
I thought x was after
No. Other questions? Yes.
Constants go last.
In standard
No
form,
matter
yes. Jackson.
If there's an x with like a say exponent of like 3, would that be cubic?
Yes.
Okay. No, what if there's more than 5? So it's like past quantic. Like, do we strike quantic? Like,
So you won't see that.
okay.
Let me explain the SOL sheet I just gave you, and then we'll go over the other. I'll come check your SOL problems. So on this SOL review sheet, you are going to do JLab problems for SOL practice. You're going to do 120 problems over the next, it says 6, but it's really 9 until the SOL. If I didn't say when your SOL is, it's on the board, but it's May 15th. You can choose to do 5, 10, 20, or 40 problems at a time. You want to do a bunch of 5 problems, that's fine. That's really up to you. You have to record all of your data, so write your number of questions, date, score, your recovery code on the back. When you finish each one, you need to email me the results. There'll be a place to say email your scores. You'll email me. You should probably also email yourself just in case I don't get it, and write down the recovery code just in case you or I don't get it so we can get it eventually. At the end, when you turn in this sheet, or if you have multiple, turn in all of the sheets, I'm going to average all of your scores together, and that'll be your formative grade. Questions on this? Okay. In Canvas, if you go into modules and find the SOL review module, there's a page that says JLab, which is just this in Canvas. If you go into that, you can directly click on that link. And it'll take you there. Follow those instructions so you're using the right type of questions. Questions there. Okay. Side note, if you have not seen this announcement about the grade calculator, This can be used for all of your classes to see where you stand in all of your classes. You have to know your semester 1, quarter 3 grade or estimate it, and then put in random numbers for your quarter 4 grade to see what you would finish the year off with. So feel free to play around with that. If you go directly into that, it'll take you to the page and you can put in different numbers. Questions about that? Okay. I'm going to come around and check your SOL 4C through 5B, and then we'll quickly go over that before lunch. To put into your SOL packet,
Oh, that is not
SOL 4C was your literal equations where you had to solve for the variable. So I'm going to walk through what we're doing here. Because we're trying to solve for h, and it's on the inside, we got to get rid of the 1/2 by taking it, flipping it, and multiplying by the reciprocal. And then what we do here is, normally when you distribute something, you're multiplying it into everything, and we want to undo that so that h is on the outside. So we basically divided it. We'll talk more about this next week. And then divided both sides by a minus b. So h equals 2a over a minus b. The same kind of logic applied in 19. We're solving for a. We need to get a out of both of those. To bring it outside of that, leave the rest in parentheses, divide both sides by 3 plus 5c. So that a equals q over 3 plus 5c. Then in number 20, it says a bunch of things, what all of these things represent, but really just the formula is important. And we're solving in part A for h, so subtract 2b, divide everything by p. And then in part B, solve for b, so subtract hp and divide everything by 2. Questions on those 4? Many of the rest of the problems were done in Desmos. So 21, x equals 7, or 7 equals x. 22 was no solution. And then I'll scroll down. 23 was C. 24, x equals 6. 25, x equals negative 6. 26 was B. And then just circle write 4 bottles of juice. If you have time to write any of this, that's fine. Really, you would need to do this in Desmos. Write your 2 equations and put them in Desmos. 1.5x plus 3y equals 28.5. X plus y equals 15. If we have time at the end, we'll go over the rest. If not, we'll go over those on Thursday.